Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of the Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel, checking out today's video. Always grateful for that. And guys, today we're going to be talking about how to prep your tubes to catch more fish on them. There's a lot of things you can do to a tube right out of the package to get more bites on it and land more fish. So we're going to sort of run you through that and show you this simple process that I use. Just makes them look a lot better and catch a lot more fish. Also, guys, just like to invite everybody out there, if you haven't had a chance, to please subscribe here to the Fishing Teacher and hit those likes and notification buttons out there. If you guys want to support the channel, it's a good way to do it. And also, just a big invitation to use my tackle warehouse links that I put in the description of every video. If you have any tackle you want to purchase and you want to help out the Fishing Teacher channel, ordering your tackle from Tackle Warehouse through the links in my description is a good way to do that. The channel gets a small percentage of that commission on a sale, so much appreciated. Okay guys, we'll talk a little bit about this. Now, we've alluded to some of this in the past. I've talked about this, but if you're not familiar, I want to run through some of the basic steps on it. Now, here's the typical tube that you get, when you buy one. Now, most tubes, when you buy them, they're you can catch fish on them, but there's a lot of stuff you can do to make them even more. They're sort of hard a lot of times, and most tubes have quite a bit of salt in them. The bodies are hollow, so the rigidity of that salt in there makes it pretty hard, difficult for hook penetration a lot of times. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to show you guys what I do to them to make them a little bit better looking and pliable, and I'm going to show you the before and after. Also, guys, this technique that I'm talking about, it works regardless of how you're rigging your tube. You can either rig a tube with a jig head in the middle of it, like for smallmouth fishing, or you can Texas rig it for pitching and flipping, which I like to prefer to do. So the first thing we want to do is we want to break up that salt. And you regulars to my videos, you've heard me talk about this a lot. If you're not familiar with it, if you rough these soft plastics up, it brings that salt to the surface like that. And when you bring that salt to the surface, it softens the bait up. It makes it a lot more pliable. And a couple different benefits to this. Number one, gives the bait better action. And number two, it makes it easier to hook the fish because the hook does not have to penetrate such hard plastic from the salt being in there. So I really take time to work it up and break it up. And I even do the tails here with it. Now, the next thing I do once I get this all broken up is see how uniform the tails are. I want to carefully come in there, first of all, and I want to separate these tails because a lot of times these tails are going to stick together. Like you can see that one right there, it's stuck together. But you can just take them and you can split them apart. And, by splitting these tails apart, if they're stuck together, it just gives it more action. The next thing I do after I split them apart is I want to come in here and I want to pinch off about 1/2 of an inch of some of the legs in there. And what this is going to do, it's sort of going to give the tube sort of like a gnarly little imperfect look like that. And so I'll show you the before and after. Now here's the tube exact tube I started with, and here is the tube after I've done the modifications on it. Now you can see the coloration difference on it. Salt's out to the surface. It's a little bit more subtle. The tails on it, a lot more freedom. See how those tails wiggle like that a lot more? The uniformity just makes it look a lot better. So this right here, it's a subtle difference, but it is an obvious difference. And one of the things you got to look at is when this tube is on the bottom and you're working along the bottom, on a soft plastic bait, these fish get down and they study it super close. So anything that you can do to increase the visual strike appeal is going to be benefits you. So when you've got these two tubes laying side by side like that, look at which one, if you were a bass, which one would you hit there? Which one looks a little bit more appealing? To me, this one right here looks a lot more natural. It looks a lot more edible. I mean, for lack of a better word. So that's the difference in them like there, guys. Just a subtle little modification. But it's stuff like that makes a big difference how the bait looks in the water as far as generating the strike. Softness of the bait by breaking the salt up allows you to get a better hook in it, and it just makes the bait a lot more efficient. So anyway, give it a try, guys. I hope it helps out. Like I said, if you want to order some tubes, I'll put that Tackle Warehouse and link in the description. You guys can get them through there. Much appreciated.